All right, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. And today we have a finals video. We're going to dig into why I think the player count isn't super high for such a good game. So I just wanted to say thank you guys for all the support on the last video. That one went to the moon, and I got the most amount of subscribers from a video that I've made so far. And I just want to say also some of the comments you guys left were really, really nice, and I really appreciate that. So yeah, without further ado, let's get right into the video. So, as I'm deciding to choose a game to play, a few always come to mind. As you guys know, Battlefield, of course, Delta Force. I even still play The First Descendant. Maybe even some Call of Duty, even though that's not really ever the case, but I digress. There's a game that I absolutely love, but never end up playing. The Finals. It's a great game and there's a lot to love. So why is the player count so low? In this video today, I'm going to try to get to the bottom of why I think it's one of the best PvP games out and why there's not too many people playing. Embark, which is the studio behind the game, have a lot of ex-Battlefield devs working there, so they were primed for a great game from the jump. In case you've been under a rock and still don't know how the game works, I'll explain the mode Quick Cache. You spawn in, go find a vault on the ground where after a little bit of time unlocking it, the vault will pop out, and then you carry the vault to a cache out where everyone and their mother can see where you are. And once you make it to the cache out and deposit the vault, you have to defend it for 2 minutes while it caches out and fight off any bad guys, any ops trying to get your money. And it's a great game mode, and I love that it feels new and not recycled. It's super fun and really competitive and just blows anyone out of the water in the PvP space in terms of graphics and performance. I mean, just look at this game. The maps are absolutely gorgeous. The destruction is on point, and I don't even want to think about how complicated it is to make all of this work on their end to then have it work so seamlessly on our end. I mean, it's crazy. There's a range of guns and player gadgets to use in player class types, and they're constantly adding things and tweaking current equipment and gameplay. Like I said, this game's graphics, the animations, and the smoothness of everything you see on screen just feels so top-notch and actually next-gen, which is really more like the current generation, but so many games never end up feeling like they take advantage of their engines or they're trying to also work on old-gen and whatnot. So when they actually do, we immediately think it's next-gen, but really this is a current generation game running on current hardware, and it feels really good. I run everything ultra at 1440p and consistently get at least 120 frames with my 4070 Ti. The gameplay is really fun and fast-paced, very team-oriented, and unless you're a god at this game, you're going to need your teammates and have good communication. That's a part I really love about it, because there really isn't any lone wolf winners in this game. It really matters how you communicate and coordinate with your team. And when you do find a trio you're playing well with, you can really start having some fun in some games. It's almost like a bit of that Battlefield mentality is shining through, because in Battlefield, you really need team cohesion if you want to win. And it's kind of like the same thing for the finals. I rarely ever have connection issues on this game, and all the fights feel really good. No bullet registration issues. Like, they've really put together an amazing feeling game. They have several absolutely beautiful maps. Embark is updating and tweaking things regularly, and they are doing the live service free-to-play thing really well, in my opinion. Like, when I'm playing this game, it's basically the only one that stands out as feeling like it's truly making use of the current hardware and the engine, and you can't help but notice that all the time when you're playing. And from a studio that isn't that old and only has about 300 people working there, it kind of makes some of these massive game studios look pretty bad. The Finals was Embark's first game, and to have it be so smooth and beautiful and new feeling just goes to show you don't need a massive studio to make a good game. So besides the game looking and playing great, all the continuous support, and a loyal fan base, what's keeping casual gamers like me from coming back to the game that's doing so many things right? Well, I think for me at least, and let me know what you guys think in the comments, is the skilled gap between people who don't play all the time and people that play all the time. And before you guys say, Millsy, just get good, just know that I've tried. The game is definitely not forgiving for new players and casuals like me. And if you're not playing with a full team of 3 with good comms, it's a serious uphill battle. I can never truly tell if other teams are all 3 stacked, but most of the time, I come across teams that definitely are. They always seem so much more coordinated than my team if I'm just solo queuing. And overall, I never feel like I'm the better player than someone I fight. Maybe that's a me problem. Like, I'm not a trash bag bot, but damn, this game got me feeling like one. The game does have skill-based matchmaking, but I never know if these systems work, how they're intended, because I constantly come across people who show off their stats and they're always way better than mine. And that's just in pubs. They do have a ranked mode where I'm sure it's even more sweaty, but if you're someone like me who enjoys playing all sorts of games, not just grinding one game, the finals sits in the category of one of the games you really need to grind to get good at. And you really need a full team to have any sort of advantage. And this, I think, is the main reason why so many people end up not sticking with it. This is by far the most sweatiest game I have on my computer. They do have different modes to play to change up the pace a little bit, but the core of the gameplay, no matter which mode, is definitely sweatier than any game I have. It might even be intended this way by the devs, but that doesn't change the fact that it's a bit too harsh for new players and people like me who don't play often. I'm not even saying this is fundamentally a bad thing. Like, there should be games that are much harder than others to play, just as there should be games that are easier to play and better for casuals. This game just happens to fall into that harder to play category. And I think that's why people don't stick with it. This isn't even a video suggesting they should change anything or make things easier for people. I mean, it's in a league of its own in terms of the difficulty and the team play and the coordination and your tactics. I mean, I think it's really fun and cool that they have a game like this out. It just happens to be a little less forgiving for people that are new and casual like me. Like, I love how challenging and rewarding and fun this game is and how intense it is. But it's just one of those games that you really need to grind to get good at. It's not really like you don't just really hop in and just kind of to chill. Like, it's an intense game, and all the fights you get into, all the engagements you get into are all very, like, they got your heart pounding, dude. I mean, my heart is like literally pounding during some of these fights because it's just like you don't get an instant respawn, and it's just your teammates might be depending on you, and if you don't hit your shots, like, it's just a lot going on. And I mentioned it earlier, and like, they do have other game modes that kind of switch the pacing up a little bit and have different objectives. They have a TDM mode. They have a like what's called Power Shift, which is like a floating platform, and you kind of have to lock that down. And yeah, it changes up the play style a little bit, but it still feels sweaty at the core, no matter what game mode you play. And it's just, I don't know if that resonates with a lot of players, because it's just, your heart is pounding throughout all these fights, and some people love that. But I feel like a pretty good majority of the casual player base isn't looking for something that is so sweaty. Like, don't get me wrong, I like to get a sweat session in every now and then, but damn, I mean, some of these players on the finals are really cracked, and they have all the mechanics and movement and gadgets, like the way that their strategies are. They have that stuff down pat. And by no means is this a video about me complaining about this game. Like, I think this game is one of the best games out right now. Like, it's just truly unique, and it has its own feel, and it's really, really good. I think the finals is a banger of a game if you're looking for the sweatiest, most action-packed PvP experience that you could find. It really isn't a game that you just casually hop on and play, in my opinion. Kind of like I said, even in pubs. Like, if you're good at the finals, I put you in the really good gamer category. There's nothing about the mechanics that are super complicated, like learning to build in Fortnite, for example. But what gets so complicated is your strategy and team coordination. And if you're going up against a team of 3 who's all on the same page tactics-wise, you're basically going to lose every single time. So to recap, I think we've established that the finals is an amazing, great, unique game. But I think the reason why the player count isn't super high is just because of how sweaty it is naturally. Just the way that the game is, it's just very, very fast-paced and sweaty. And I believe that that's probably the reason why. And I would like you guys to let me know what your thoughts are in the comments, because I would love to get some different opinions, and I might be totally wrong. It might be completely something that I'm missing. And I would love to see this game get more attention, and I'd love to see more people play it, and I'd love to see more videos about it, because it really is an amazing game. And I love what Embark Studio has done with the game. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for sticking it out to the end. And also, besides all the other comments I asked you to make, I'd like you to comment down below, Buckaroo, just so that I know that you made it this far. And yeah, thank you for tuning in, and have a good rest of your day.